We killed an international terrorist last night who was an animal. He was an enemy and a savage, an enemy of the United States in every respect. We did not ask for this. An enormous cataclysmic shift in U.S. foreign policy last night as President Trump makes the decision with our brave members of our United States military to take out animal savage Soleimani, who ran the Quds Force in Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll say what I said before, and I'll say it again because it matters. We didn't ask for this. This is not a country that relishes war, and we're not a country of warmongers. We're a country of peace-loving people who would love it if we lived in some form of utopia and everybody around the world felt the same way. Unfortunately, they don't. There are a number of people, animal savages, and a number, sadly, of countries led by animal savages who would like nothing more to see us dead, including the Death to America Iranian crowd, of which Qasem Soleimani, head of the Quds Force, was a lead figure for 20 years. 20 years. This guy was washed in regional and U.S. blood in Lebanon, Bahrain, Iraq, Syria, Yemen. This guy was a monster. He was involved personally, in making decisions that led to the deaths of hundreds, if not thousands, of U.S. soldiers and potentially tens of thousands of people, if not more, in the regions I just addressed. President Trump last night made the bold decision to take him out at the airport. Have an article up at the Washington Examiner today. Decisive defensive action. Pentagon declares that U.S. killed Qasem Soleimani on Trump's orders by Russ Reed. It'll be up at the show notes at Bongino.com today. Check it out. Good piece. Ladies and gentlemen, the POTUS wasn't kidding. POTUS, of course, an acronym for President of the United States. President Trump wasn't messing around.
Thank you.
Now, sorry about that. Sometimes old Secret Service talk comes out. But, folks, if you played this man for a fool, you grotesquely miscalculated. Soleimani thought he'd get out of that Baghdad airport, no problem at all. You know why? Because he'd done it with impunity forever, traveling around the region, initiating proxy wars, killing U.S. soldiers, giving orders to have U.S. soldiers killed, giving orders for assassinations on U.S. soil. Do you understand the savage this guy was? He miscalculated because President Trump was, as I've said often about his foreign policy approach, for people who mistake him for being an idiot, a big mistake, by the way, a mistake Soleimani made that he won't be making again, by the way. He is strategically patient. He didn't rush into Iran after they took out our drone. He didn't rush into Iran to start World War III. And ladies and gentlemen, let me be clear on this. A lot of you who listen to the show understand my approach to international conflict. I believe strongly in Fox Connor's rules of war, and I would actually interpret that as Fox Connor's rules of conflict as well. The great Fox Connor. You don't go to war alone. You don't go to war for long. And you don't go to war unless you absolutely have to. Fox Connor's rules of conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, what other choice did we have? Soleimani was an animal savage who clearly was directly involved in the attack on our embassy in Iraq. He was in Iraq when we took him out. He was in Iraq, and that attack would have led to casualties if it wasn't for a vibrant response by President Trump. But remember, we didn't ask for this. You did. Having said that, in the history of tweets that have, let's say, aged poorly, like an unfine wine and cheese left out in the Florida sun for months at a time, check out this tweet by Khamenei, spiritual leader of Iran. This is a tweet he sent out in response to Donald Trump just a few days ago, while the attack was going on. Quote, Khamenei, talking about Trump. That guy has tweeted that we see Iran responsible for the events in Baghdad, and we will respond to Iran. He says, first, this is Khomeini talking, you can't do anything. Well, that didn't work out too well, did it? Second, if you were logical, which you're not, you'd see that your crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan have made nations hate you. Yes, in the history and annals of tweets that have aged rather poorly, the Khomeini telling Trump he can't do anything line is probably going to go down in history as one of the dumbest tweets ever put across on a social media platform in the history of the Twitterverse. I guess he could do something. And I guess he did. We didn't ask for this. We don't want this. But if you continue to poke the bear, as I said last night on Fox and Friends, you better have the body bags and the morgue to chill your dead. Because this president is not messing around. And I wanted to say something different, but due to FCC rules, I have to be very careful.
Which, dude?
If there was ever a time for a New York City Queens expletive to be dropped in there, that was it. We don't want this. We didn't ask for this. Iran, you have every opportunity to walk away. Cut your losses now, please. Nobody wants this. Nobody. This is very serious. It's not a joke. It's not a movie. Nobody wants this. But I'm telling you, this will not end well. This will not end well for you. This will not end well for your political leaders. This will not end well for whatever you think your end goal is. You will never, ever reach that end zone. It will not happen.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.